On the other side, yeah, across me.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's all good.
Okay. Vayigash Eilov Yehuda. You know what? Let's go to there's a very so this is a Maimer of the Rebbe Shabbos Parshas Vayigash. Tavshin and Vov. Let's go to page 252. V'hine Yadua, the last. So let's tashur is on 252.
Beautiful.
This is like this, once in a while the Rebbe goes on a tangent on a certain Indian. He says, V'hine Yadua. It's known, Shekol Indian ha'haftoira. What's the Lashon? How do you say the word? Nitakin. The Kol Indian ha'haftoira was enacted machmas yeridas ha'golus, v'cheshech ha'golus, ugzeiras ha'malchus. So basically, what the Rebbe was speaking about before was that in the pasuk, Vayigash Eilov Yehuda, so Yosef is primary. Yehuda is Vayigash to Yosef. In the Haftarah, it speaks about David Avdi Melech Aleim La'olam. It's going to become Eitz Echad, Ephraim, Yosef, Yehuda. It's all going to become one. So basically, the Parsha is speaking about the Avodah before, in the beginning, Reishis Avodah. And the Haftarah is speaking about the end of the Avodah. So it's an interesting thing that the Haftarah is speaking about the Tachlis. So the Rebbe says it's known that the inyan of the Haftarah, when did this come about, was because of Exeir. V'hine. Ef sheloimar shegoy yesh lishlita al Yehudi. Right? We can't say that a goy has ultimate control over a yid. We had a conversation in the past. We learned the Maimer of the Mittler Rebbe about how it is that the Cantonists were taken away and Bepoil, they couldn't perform all the mitzvahs. In other words, a Nisoyan is supposed to be that you could overcome the Nisoyan. Not that you're stuck and you can't do everything. So that's a different, in other words, this Maimer is not discussing that question. We have a question, how could it be that a Yid has a Nisoyan, a person loses an arm, he can't put on film, it's not an optical illusion. He can't. In the Russian art, they couldn't.
It's not an obstacle it can overcome.
Right, but in this, right now, in this Maimer, that's not what he's discussing. He's saying, B'chala, Yid and Golus. So they can't really stop you from learning Torah. You let them in. If you're soft, then if you don't stand proud, then they could come in. The Rebbe goes like a little bit. It's like this is one of those funny oisius. The world was created in order to serve me, to support me. Not only is that, that the Mishnah says, not only is it here to help me, but it's for me. What's the difference? Not only is their purpose in order to help us, their existence, even when they're not helping us, and the Rebbe is going to bring this very strange idea. In other words, the fact that the world is here to serve humanity, the Yidden, is not only when they're being utilized in that way. Just their mere existence is for that purpose. Let's see how he presents it. There are animals and trees and vegetation and fruit. Not only is that you should have clothing and food. Like the Rambam writes, Why are there masses? That the scholars shouldn't be lonely. They need company, they need people. They need an inhabited earth. If a person goes out and wherever he looks is desolate, so it leaves a very bad feeling. You want to feel that there are people are walking the streets, and there's a city, and there's a hustle and bustle. That's part of Pirush Shekulam Nivru Lahasir Itzvaynoi Shel Adam, to take away a person's possible depression and loneliness. V'shimemayin yechidasei, right? His sense of feeling abandoned and lonely. Sheharei ha'adam hu medini. So this lashon of ha'adam hu medini, a person, we would probably say in English that people are social creatures. This lashon ha'adam hu medini is from the Maimer Nevuchim. I don't know exactly what word the Rambam used in Arabic to say that Adam Medini, but this is found in Aristotle's writings on politics. In other words, it's part of his thought. So the Rambam discusses, like he starts off a perek, essentially bringing this idea of Aristotle into Torah. How does the Torah support this idea of a person being a social creature? Yeah. So being that a person is a Medini, v'lachin, tzarich shleyu sheimim ubaydid, a person shouldn't be lonely, shouldn't be alone, v'nimtza. The etzem mitzias anoshim rabbi mimin hamedaber, even if they're not serving you, he Atzma eina ela b'shvil Yisrael. Kidei sheYehudi batlan hayeshev b'shtibel v'leimed pasuk b'teira heshir be'ein Yaakov, a person sitting and learning in a shtibel. So kidei sheYehudi, so lo yargish atzma ibayded v'sheimim, he shouldn't feel lonely. Elnt be'elameh. Ve'agam, although that this Yid is anyway lonely, in other words, he's just sitting in a shul. Hagam she Yehudi batlan zeh, hoyo yeshiv benkach o benkach ba'ayrosei in shtetl v'loy meter. Gam im loy hoyu oid anoshim ba'elam, even if there was no one else. Mikol mokem. Mitkivan sheteva ha'adam hu shehu medini, since people are social creatures. Hari efsher, it would be possible sheyeh be'efen diyitzavim v'shimimim. He could have been umetik v'kayetza b'zeh. Ukadei lezarzai, the Eibishter, in order to give him in good spirits, ule samchai, to make him happy, bara kodesh baruch hu, as daled milyard hagoyim sheba'elam, the 4 billion people at that time, from 1986 till today, we have a big change. Population almost doubled, more than doubled. We're at 9 million or at 7 billion. So the 4 billion people are all in order to be misameach hayid. That's the purpose of all the people. Umizeh moving. Tezeh sheyesh daled milyard goyim ba'elam. Being that the purpose of their existence is in order to bring you joy, so they're not teifus mokim as a primary thing. They're here to help you. This
should have been posted on Google today. Did you see what happened?
No.
Today it was posted. It went crazy on social media. You type in Jew into Google, and it tells you what it is, how it's pronounced, J-O-O, Jew, and it says it's a verb and it's offensive.
It's a verb and it's offensive? Uh-huh.
The verb is offensive.
To call
somebody
someone
a Jew is offensive.
Yeah.
Verstehst?
The fact that a person read in the newspaper, Bisfas Hamedina, Eilov, whatever language, Sheyesh Goyim Ba'Afrika, V'yesh Goyim Ba'Australia, V'yesh Goyim B'Harbe Mekemes Ba'Elam, She'einom Yodim Klal Eidus Mitziusei Sheloi Shel HaYehudi. They have no idea you exist. V'yesh mehem shemisnahagim behanha prois, wilde Menschen, v'kayetze bazeh. V'yesh mehem, and there are those shematzlichim b'maaseim v'chulu, they're successful in their craziness. V'yediyazu, when this Yid read the newspaper, and he read about this phenomenon, Mevalbelas, I say, Mafriale, disturbs him. He doesn't feel, he can't rest, he's not at peace. There's insanity in the world. He writes a letter to the Rebbe, asking the Rebbe to answer him why these things are going on in the world. Why that is matzliach, yender is matzliach. Says the Rebbe in Ereish's go. Why are you reading the newspaper? Kizel bitul teire. Kol oilam lei nivra elo kadesh hu yaseh b'teire. Ubechlal ma loi ulagoy ha-yoshev bo-Washington v'kayetz b'zeh. What are you busy with the president? Aval mikivan shebepeyel rav v'shama al derech mitzias ha-goyim al dvar. He heard about the goyim. V'zeh peyel etzlei bilbul usfekes v'kushyas b'ashgacha pratis shalamayla. Is the Eibishter orchestrating all this? He ne'al zeh hu habir hana shebe'emes kol daled milyard hagoyim shebe'elam einem ele b'shviloi kidei shelo yiyeh sheimim ubeided, that he shouldn't be lonely and depressed. V'yuchal lasik b'limud ha'teire v'kiyum ha'mitzvahs mitech simcha b'chulu. V'oidzos t'mikivan shelagabe HaKadosh Baruch Hu ha'kol shovim Kakotten kagodl, since lagabi the Eibishter, everyone is equal. She'ene rak l'mayla mehem, ela ene be'erech klal el hanevroim. Yeah, that we don't say that the Eibishter is higher than them. Lagabi the Eibishter, it's nothing. Ubamen nechshavhu kol misper daled milyard agoyim. It has no erech bechlal, these billions of people. V'im came daled milyard goyim, the goy echad shavim l'fanov. By the Eibishter, whether it's the president or the others, it's all the same. It's all nothing. Ve'ein lem chashivus yesera mi Yehudi batlen echad hayeshiv lebimkem neveisid b'tev. Bifrat apiteres Haval Shem Tov hayidua shal kol ha'olam kulei nivra b'kol rega v'rega ma'ayin v'efes amuchlet mamash v'nimtza. Shalifnei rega, 1 second ago, kol daled milyard agoyim hoyu ayin v'efes amuchlet mamash. It was all not. V'rak aton ishavu mechodosh. Mashein kim b'nei Yisrael harei machshav tom kodmo l'chol dover. A Jew has true existence, and the inyan of b'nei Yisrael originates even before the Asara Ma'amoris. Afilu la'asara ma'amoris v'aseres hadibris ribem nivroila. U'mitziusam shal Yisrael hi mitzias nitzchis, and it's an everlasting, it's an eternal existence. Ve'im kein betach ein tfisas mokim l'chol hagoyim kenegde. Mikol ze move on she'ein lagoyim shum shlita al b'nei Yisrael, that they can't control the Yidden. Ve'ein la'em efsharos, they don't have the ability ligzer aleim gezeiris v'chulu. Ella Kol tam hayirida legolus hu b'shvil ha'aliyah. Zeu atam. This is why dafke in the haftarah bo begolui al yedei gzeres hamalchus. Dafke through the haftarah we talk about medubar al var shleimus in the David avdi nasi lahem la'olam. Really, where the haftarah talks about Mashiach. Ki hayirei hayirida the golus chulu. In the next paragraph, the Rebbe pushes further, also in this tone. Then we could go back and learn the beginning of formal Maimer. It says, even though we know, it's very nice, yeah, Mashiach is coming. But the bottom line is, right now, we don't see it. And mikol makom yadua pizgam shereitzim sheyeh akel b'mezuman. We want cash. We don't want IOUs. Sheyeh daloi golus v'yavim Mashiach now. Beintayim ein roim ze b'goli b'mezuman. We don't see the cash. It's all promises. What do? Inyan Yuvan al pi Maimer Admor HaZoken HaYedua shekvar nitfas she'afilu v'im tzadik echad eser tshuva miyad Mashiach bo. If one tzaddik would do complete tshuva, Mashiach would come. In other words, if the revelation is infinite, it's to everybody. And true tshuva reaches a darga that's bali gvul. So it has to reach everyone. So even one person, if one person did proper tshuva, Mashiach would reach everyone. Being that I'm on the record, I can't say what I want to say, but I have questions in my mind about this idea, about the distinction between this idea and something in another religion. But that's another story. That's my problem. He doesn't say that you have to be of a certain yichus in order to be that tzaddik. The kol echad ve'echad mi Yisrael yochel liyas tzaddik take from yad. Is das was Mashiach is nicht gekommen? Bist du in dem allein schuldig? It's your fault. It's a personal thing. My fault, not your fault. Ve'im kein zeu inyan amoyz b'mezumen. That's the cash. Kepashtos ha'inyan. Ukesha emrim shereitzim liris hamezumonim b'kis. We say we want cash. Let me get
it this time. No.
What we're saying is cash. The Rebbe is saying there's cash and there's what you get with the cash. There's the bulka, the varmas. There's the supper, the fresh roll. That's cash is sheyu mois mezumonim that you should be able to. Of course, there's prep time and there are other things you have to do until you could enjoy it. Only after you buy bread, you wash your hands, you make a bracha, then you could eat. Everyone has cash in their hands. That kol echad ve'echad, every person is able lasis tshuva. To receive personal redemption. Ve'ein tzarich lazeh shum avodas el harei ze beriga chadam mamash. Ve'inyin zeh hu yoser me'amoshel ha'yedua and the Maimer of the Rebbe Maharash that kiluyim de la'asid lavei ha'kedugmas ha'shefa. You know, the Rebbe says that it says when Mashiach will come, the neshama will be fed from the body.
It'll be that whole.
Wow, so the body has the potential now to feed the neshama. So the Rebbe says, yeah, but the box he's bringing from the Rebbe Maharash, but Abbas is verschlossen. We don't have the code to unlock that potential. It's sealed. So the Rebbe is saying here that in the marshal of the Rebbe Maharash, there's a box and there's a lock and there's a key and you have to open the box. Mashenkin b'inyanenu hakel payesh b'mezumen ein tzarich el tircha ktana lakachas es hamezumen ulahavi al yodi es hageulah to bring the geula. Now we're going to go back. Now that Aaron arrived, we're going to go back to the beginning of the Maimer. Oh no, you missed the good part. That was the whole point. How
do you know this was recording?
Oh, did it just come?
Literally.
I followed the guy. I was going to rob him, but then he gave it to Shir, so.
In the Tanya that we're learning now, Chitas, so the Alter Rebbe lists. So we have the Sholosh Klippas Atmeis and Klippas Noga. Okay, so it's divided in two parts. At the end of Perek Vav of Tanya, today's Chitas, the Alter Rebbe speaks about the three Klippas. So he says, what are the three Klippas? The three Klippas are, he brings from the Pasuk the Ruach Sa'ara, V'anon Gadol, and then he says V'goymer, but Ve'ishmes Lakachas, right? The three klippas are not, without going into Torah. And then he says, Mimena, from these klippas are nimshach, the nefoshes of Balei Chayim, Hatmeim, V'asurim Ba'achila, the non-kosher animals, and the non-kosher vegetation, and the nefoshes of Umis Ha'olam, and the nations. So the Alter Rebbe speaks about Medaber, Chai, and Semeach.
Not the.
But not Doimim. Right? So the Rebbe explains that that Shviras HaKelim didn't happen in in Malchus, in Sfiras HaMalchus. Shviras HaKelim happened in Keser Chochma Bina. So Sholosh Klippas Atmeis is not Shayach. In Doimim can't be Sholosh Klippas Atmeis. Amen. Doimim can't be Sholosh Klippas Atmeis. Anyway, right? So this also connects. We're talking here about Hey Tevis, and Hey Tevis, the Rebbetzin played a role in Hey Tevis. One thing we could say about the Rebbetzin is that Chassidus says in Sfiras HaMalchus that Malchus has nothing of its own. In the world of Chabad, the Rebbetzin wasn't a personality. She was completely MIA, right? She didn't take up any. In other words, you could say in a certain.
She didn't take the mic.
She was subservient. Totally.
You could say in a certain way that anyone that interacted with her, anyone who went to her house or whatever it is, they were stepping out of the chassid. I don't mean this in an insulting way, but they were being like mekurev to beis harav, or right? You know what I mean? Like they were stepping out of. I don't remember who it was. One of the Friedrich Rebbe asked someone to be his gabbai or something. Maybe it was Chanya Marozov. So he said he doesn't want to be. Why? Because once you're a gabbai, you can't be a chassid.
Wow.
You lose the right. There's something about it. Okay, so over here we're saying whoever went to the Rebbetzin and they went to the Rebbe's house and they were stepping out of, the ordinary.
Of course, people will go crazy for them now.
Right? Yeah, we want to hear stories. Fine, okay. But we understand that that's not so. And so in the Indian of Sfiras HaMalchus, we say absolute bittul. Right? Absolute bittul. The earth, it just allows everyone to step on it. Mm-hmm. Right? It's complete bittul. So let's take a look. Let's learn a little bit of the Maimer. Vayigash Eilov Yehuda. Maybe al zeh kved kedushas admar azok in the Torah reish Parshas Vayigash. The Rebbe brings like this. It says regarding the Mishkan, Koiros Bateinu Arozim. The beams of our home are cedar wood. And the Beis HaMikdash, the walls of the Beis HaMikdash were rock. So v'yesh lahavin, why is it that there's such a distinction? Why this contrast? Ha'hefresh bein ha'mishkan lebeis elam she'b'mishkan haya adeinim lamata k'mei shekosov min ha'ofer ha'sheyeh bekarka ha'mishkan l'mayla mizeh hayu akroshim, which are atzei shitim sug atzei me'ach, which they were the ikr mishkan v'lachein hayu beifen da'amida v'toikef atzei shitim oimdim. And then there was the michsa, the covering on the Mishkan, mirius izim, va'iris elim va'adamim, va'iris choshim, the different skins, which are sugachai, which are, all of this are kesidrei shel olam. That's like the order of the world. When we talk about spiritual awareness, or not visibility, transparency, to see life. That's the order. Right? It follows the order of the world. Mashenk in the Beis HaMikdash, when it comes to the Beis HaMikdash, Binyan David Shleimei, and also Beis HaMikdash de la Osid, Harikule Hu Me'avonim Va'afar, was all rock and earth. Ve'ad, Sha'afilu Agag, Ve'amaziva, even the roof was made of brick and earth. Asui Me'afar Va'avonim. Ve'loi rak she'ein atzemeach lamayla mina ofar, ela she'ein beitzemeach klal. There is no vegetation, there are no trees. K'mei shekosu v'loi sita l'cha asherah kol eitz eitzel mizbach Hashem alikecha. You're not allowed to have a tree near the mizbeach. She'osr lasses by eitz beilit. The Mishnah says that you're not allowed to have a piece of wood is not allowed to protrude from the wall into the space of the Beis HaMikdash. You're not allowed to make hooks coming out of the wall made of wood. Hainu, the Afshayu HaKodesh Me'arozim, even though there were some supporting beams made of wood, but it was completely covered. This Maimer, in other words, by the Rebbe, let's say this Maimer took 30 minutes to say.
Yeah.
But it's really, it needs a few hours.
Yeah.
Right? So the Rebbe is speaking in code. You have to learn the Maimer and look what they tell you. Hine ha'hefresh ben ha'mishkan ha'beis ha'mikdash hu k'mei ha'hefresh ben tchilas ha'inyan v'ha'aveda, the start of a person's work, ushleimus ha'inyan v'ha'aveda, and the completion of a person's work. Right? It's like think about a person building a home, where there's the earliest point, and then the final point, and then there's everything that happens in between. So in a certain way, it's like a cone. It's like two opposite cones, and then back to this, right? Starting like this, and then back, whatever the position is. So there's Tchilas Aveda. He said, I heard a vart. I heard a saying. I don't know a vart. Work is, I forget how it goes, something resistance. Right? In other words, you're confronting resistance. Well, how do you define, what's avodah in Chassidus?
Oh, right.
Right?
You mean scientifically work is...
confronting resistance.
Yeah.
Right? There's something that you're resisting.
You're not working
you're
if you're just sitting there in your chair.
Well,
and playing solitaire.
Obviously,
solitaire is work because you have resistance by the cards.
We have work in the sense of I have a job.
Right.
Right. We have work in the sense I turn on my car. Is it working or not working? Mm-hmm. But work as avodah. Right. The Chassidus, the definition of avodah. Some people work is fun. So, right, what's work? Work is confronting resistance. Right? So there's tchilas ha'aveda. Let's see what he says here. Tchilas ha'aveda milmata l'mayla. We begin with daimim, then say me'ach. Shleimus ha'aveda b'midosh nikeres mailas adenim dafke. Sha'agagu me'adenim. He says, I don't know if anyone if you ever had this experience, right? In whatever way. Remember I told you that when Rabbi Shochet used to come to the Ivy League program, so he would show up like when we're 2 weeks in. He would come in, the first thing he would do, he would tell the counselors and whatever it is that everything we're doing is wrong. Right? And suddenly we're all walking on eggshells. He's like, this is a minyan. This is how you daven. This is how you lane. This is how you put down the Torah. This is how you...
Really?
Right?
That's so good.
And at a certain point, we're like, we can't breathe. We're not doing anything right. Right? If a person is tzulazim, if a person lives without a mantra, without a purpose, so how do you do a reset? The reset has to start. A person who has difficulty being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So every word they say is not honest.
Right.
What do you do
They're
now?
not honest.
You know, you keep on talking. Like, well, what are you gonna do now?
Well, promise to be honest.
I promise I will always.
So you have to have complete. So at the tchilas ha'aveda, there has to be complete bittul. You can't allow. I'm not talking here about controlling people. Talk about in conceptually, if a person is corrupt, you can't say, oh, we're going to take you here from this place of corruption and just put you to work.
Right.
In the work they're going to put you into, you're going to be busy with all the shtick.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like a corrupt country. Oh, we'll just give them democracy.
So
give them money.
Just give them money.
Give them money, it'll be fun.
So the beginning, that's why he said the beginning has to be doimen. The beginning has to be complete bittul. It's only after a person is completely, right? What do they say about men reading the instructions, right? That's the last thing.
When all else fails.
When all else
When
fails.
all else fails,
Right?
read the manual.
That's exactly
Just give it a try.
right. When a person is hired, and you know, it's like go tell somebody who works in a Chabad company, tell them that there's such a thing called onboarding. Right? What do you mean? I'll figure it out. Well, but who's going to tell me? You think you know better than me? I'll figure it out. But listen, you come here, you don't touch anything, you don't say anything, you don't do anything, you're just quiet. And it's only with guidance, step by step. You're okay? Mr. Brent van Hartsen?
No, I broke some ribs. I'm good.
You broke ribs.
Okay, so I'll make sure that you don't laugh.
Oh my God.
So it's only with every action that you're going to take requires serious guidance. You can't just be like a bull in a china shop. So Tzeimeach, even small movements only come after real guidance. Right? I remember when I was studying voice, and I would like let it rip one night. I was screaming my head off, whatever, and then I went into the voice teacher, and he was like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. I saw you 3 days ago. I can't recognize the thing. Right? Like, where do I start? The beginning, Tchilas Avodah, is complete bittul. Doimen, complete silence. Then there's Shleimus Avodah. Shleimus Avodah, you have a house.
That's like the end.
You're furnishing the house. Yeah. Now you're talking about not only the pillowcases, but on the pillowcase, the little gift, the little mint that you're putting down on the pillow for the greeting card, the final touches, which are just so simple, but they're in the lowest. Right? It's not infrastructure. It's Hagagu midoimen v'zeu ahefresh bein ha-mishkan v'ha-mikdash. The ha-mishkan hoya diras arai. The Mishkan was a temporary place. K'meshakosov v'ei mishalo b'eilu v'mishkan v'goyim. Mizman matan teiro. The Mishkan was in the midbar b'eifin shel diras arai. The initial tchilas ha'inyan the v'oseli mikdash v'shachanti b'seicham. Right? It's the initial step of making a mikdash for Hashem. V'lachein, oz haya ikar aveda ba'ifin sha'aruchni yishu ikar. The main thing was striving for spirituality, striving for edelkeit, like the person who you're drawing into chassidus to lift them up from a place of the mundane, to have a vision of, what it is to daven, to be in a dveikus with the Eibishter, a little meditation, like to shake all of this gashmius.
So good.
That's why it was positioned that way. Daimon lifting up to the Tzemeach and lifting up to the Chai, etc. However, the Beis HaMikdash, Shleimus ha'inyan de v'shachanti gemer, beidavke, nikeres, mailes ha'daimon, in the Beis HaMikdash. There, the Beis HaMikdash represents the respect for the physical. The respect for Hashem created a physical world. The ultimate human experience is in utilizing Gashmias for the right purpose. When I say human experience, I mean living in this physical world. In other words, you want to change a person's mood. And you have two options. You could meditate their way, or you could play music. Which one is quicker?
Music.
Because it's more manifest. It's more, it's more gashmi. What does it mean? What is daimon? What is the inanimate in Avedis Adam? Inyan abitul. Shabbatul agamre kamei daimon is totally silent. He doesn't stir. There's no reaction. Right? What do they say? Poker face. No emotion. Nothing. There's inyan yiras Hashem, inyan abitul. Complete subservience. I don't have an opinion. Ubazeh, in yiras Hashem, there are two madregas. There's the yira kedemes laveres Hashem. There's the initiation yira. A person goes from being a grubbe human, from being a wild animal, to recognizing that doesn't work, and to dedicate himself to Hashem. That's yira tato. Ultimately, to abandon prikas oil and accept yira shamayim, that's like that rock bottom state, the powerless state. That's the yiras Hashem state. The yeshno, then there's a much deeper, much more profound bittul. Haba le'achrei shleimus ha'aveda. Meaning, a person at the highest level of performance, the Rebbe speaks about this a lot in the Maimer, utilizing all his chushim, but he doesn't take credit for himself. He recognizes someone inspired him to do all this. Hashem gifted him with his intelligence. And then he has his environment that inspired him to do all of this. So I'm going to take credit for it. So the bittul in the beginning, that's Yirei Eilov. It's not a simple thing. A person, what do you mean? A person could turn around, look what I achieved, look what I accomplished. To turn around with all the achievement and to say, I'd imagine a person that they're showing you their mansion. They say, all of this is all thanks to, that's not typical. That's atypical. So there's the Yira Abba La'achrei Shleimus Ha'avodah. That's Yira Eilov. Kameshikosav Ha'itzaveinu Hashem Lasis Kol HaChukim Ha'ela Le'Yiras Hashem. So the pasuk begins Kol HaChukim Ha'ela. He's serving Hashem fully, and then Le'Yira. Sha'Yira Ba La'achrei Shleimus Ha'avodah. And that's the difference. They're finally still in the abstract position between the Mishkan and the Migdash. Mishkan, Tchilas Aveda, Osaya Bittul, Pchinas Afra Tachten, which is Betur Hachana v'Hakdama El Ha'aveda. Vehi Pchinas Tzemeach, Aveda, that's growth. That's like going to the gym. Yesterday, I did a half a push-up. Today, I'll do one. That's growth. That's Tzemeach. That's where you see the results. He was Mizbainim. He had his eyes closed in Kriya Shema for 1 minute. Now, I could be Mizbainim for 2 minutes. That's a long time. That's Tzemeach.
In Army.
If the Chazan does that, oh boy, we'd all flip out.
Masha'en came b'mikdash. Haya inyan Yirei Eilov. Habitul shelamayla miha'avodah. the bittul at the highest level. V'lachein sham hoyo gam hagag me'ofar va'avonim dafka. That's with here. Yeah. Another few lines. Why do you need bittul? Why does the Beis HaMikdash need bittul? Even on the gag. Why is there doimim on the roof? How could a person be submissive? How could a person feel like nothing and serve Hashem with their ultimate shlemus? L'chura, it's a stira, it's a paradox. It says the inyan abitul meira she'einu metzias kol. Yeah, he's not a metzias. You could shape him. He has no form. A person walks into the office. He's like, you're interviewing for a job. What can you do? Anything. Right?
Anything.
Whatever
what are your weaknesses?
Whatever you need me to do, I'll do. I'm not, right?
What are your specialty? Everything.
I remember, whatever, anyway.
Whatever you need.
I was speaking once, whatever it is, to a scholarly person. A scholarly person who wouldn't hesitate to schlep boxes in the street, to plunge a toilet. He says, you see me, I don't hesitate from doing those things, but someone else, they would never do something like this. Whatever he was talking about, someone specific, not Lashon Hara, because everybody knows, right? Ma she'en kein inyan avoda toichen hu sheyesh mitzias she'adam ha'oyev. A person who's an ovid, he knows where he resists. He knows what he needs to work on. He has goals, personal goals. Personal goals, that's not bittul.
Personal goals.
Avedasei tzarich liyas b'shleimus. His avodah has to be complete. B'chol levavcha. Uv'chol nafshecha v'chol meidecha. Look how the Rebbe presents this. Hainu. Sheyesh levavcha. You have a heart. And there's nafshecha. You have a soul. Meidecha. You have money. And you're serving the Eibusher with these things. Sheyesh kol levavcha. With all your heart. You have a broad sense of feel, of emotion. Kol meidecha. Ubazet tzarech liyas avedas Hashem. L'chura zeh ohetich inyan bittul. How can that be? How could you be bituldik? So the Rebbe answers based on, he brings from Samach Vov, that the Eved takes pleasure in the Adon's pleasure. What gives him nachas? In other words, the Eved is empowered by the Adon. The mitzias of the Eved is the mitzias of the Adon. Kol masha kana Eved, kana Rabba. Everything he owns belongs to his master. So when you have someone who's avdebef keira nichalei, he'd rather sit around like a street bum as long as no one's watching. You know the reason we have closed circuit cameras. So no. But if you have a servant that's really dedicated to the success of his master, so there you have the mitzias of the Eved. What makes him tick? The mitzias of the other. So his ultimate shleimus is also bittul, but it's about the other.
Wow.
We're going to be mafsik here.